Hello YouTube, this is me, Hugo Flores, recording this video on Sunday, June 9th, 2013, around 9:41 p.m. Well, yeah, that is the time, 9:41 p.m. And my internet isn't working, so I thought I can't get on Wikipedia to read off of there. So my mom got me this book the other day called Scorpia, and I'll just read what it says on the back. It says, "Cornered, Alex Rider, teen spy, has always been told he is a spitting image of a father he never knew. But when he learns that his father may have been an assassin for the most lethal and powerful organization in the world, Scorpia, Alex's world shatters. Now Scorpia wants him on their side, and Alex no longer has the strength to fight them, until, that is, he learns of Scorpia's latest plot, an operation known only as Invisible Sword that will result in the death of thousands of people. Can Alex prevent the slaughter, or will Scorpia prove once and for all that the terror will not be stopped?" It says bestsellers by Anthony Horowitz. Stormbreaker, so some other books by Anthony Horowitz, Stormbreaker, Point Blank, Skeleton Key, Eagle Strike, and this Scorpion. And it also says Alex goes from thrilling adventure to impossible or improbable escape, one quick turning page after the other. High-tech and low-tech machinations will rivet readers. One book and they'll be hooked. From Booklist. Well, I guess that's a quotation from Booklist. And also another one is Alex Rider brings readers to the edge of their seats and keeps them there until the final page. SLJ. Alright, let's get into it. I guess I'll read the chapters. Chapter 1 is Invisible Sword. Invisible Sword. 2, Scipitori. 3, The Widow's Palace. 4, By Invitation Only. 5, Flood Tide. 6, Thoughts on a Train. 7, Consanto. 8, Designer Labels. 9, Albert Bridge. 10, How to Kill. 11, The Bell Tower. 12, Dear Prime Minister. 13, Pizza Delivery. 14, Cobra. 15, Remote Control. 16, Deadline. 17, The Church of Forgotten Saints. 18, High Resolution. 19, Deep Cover. 20, A Mother's Touch. It says, "Go to Venice, find Scorpia, and you will find your destiny." Yasen Gregorovich. I guess I'll see how much I can read. Starts off with 1, Invisible Sword. The room had no windows, and that in itself was strange, as it was situated in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. If someone had thought to cut through the soundproof panels, the reinforced steel walls, and the complicated circuitry designed to prevent any form of outside surveillance, they would have found themselves looking at the Grand Canal with the churches and places of Venice, Italy, stretching into the distance. But windows were a security risk, and anyway, the people who met here had no interest in beauty. The room's only door was sealed with a 7-figure security code and 2 guards. Both armed with German-made Heckler and Koch 9mm machine guns, stood impassively in their dark suits, one on either side. A narrow corridor with a plush, gold-coated carpet led to an elevator at the end. It had been a few minutes since the last person, a woman, had appeared behind the sliding doors. She had walked along the corridor past the guards without so much as a glance, and they had been careful not to catch her eye. She was wearing X by Clyde Christian, one of the most expensive perfumes in the world. The scent had lingered in the air for a moment, and then it was gone as the door closed softly behind her. Julia Charlotte Glynis Rockman had arrived. She sat at the head of a highly polished conference table, cut from a type of tree that was now extinct, and briefly surveyed the men who had gathered here. There were 8 of them. The oldest, bold and greasy with sore eyes, was about 70, wearing a crumpled gray suit. The man next to him was Chinese, while the man opposite, fair-haired, with an open-neck shirt, and was from Australia. It was clear that the people who had congregated in this place came from many different parts of the world, but they had one thing in common, a stillness, a coldness even, that made the room as cheerful as a morgue. Not one of them greeted Mrs. Rothman as she took her seat, nor did they bother looking at the time when she had arrived. It must be exactly 1 o'clock. That was when the meeting was meant to begin. "Good afternoon," Miss Rothman said. A few heads nodded, but nobody spoke. Greetings were a waste of words. The 9 people sitting around the table made up the executive board of one of the most ruthless and successful criminal organizations in the world. The old man's name was Max Grindle. The Chinese woman was Dr. 3. The Australian had had many names but seldom used any of them. They had come to this room without windows to go over the final details of an operation that would in just a few weeks make them richer by the sum of $100 million. The organization was called Scorpia. It was a fanciful name. They all knew it. Invented by someone who had probably read too much James Bond, but they had to call themselves something, and in the end they had chosen a name drawn from their 4 main fields of activity: sabotage, corruption, intelligence, assassination. Scorpia, a name that worked in a surprising number of languages that rolled off the tongue of anyone who might wish to employ them. Scorpia. 7 letters that were now in the database of every police force and security agency in the world. The organization was formed in the early 80s at the end of the so-called Cold War, the secret war that had been fought for decades between Russia, China, America, and Europe. Every government in the world had its own army of spies and assassins, all of them prepared to kill or to die for their country. What they weren't prepared to do, though, was to find themselves out of work, and with the end of the Cold War, a number of them saw what was exactly that they would be soon. That was exactly what they would be soon. They weren't needed anymore. It was time to go into business for themselves. They came together one Sunday morning in Paris. Their first meeting took place at the Maison Berthier, a famous ice cream parlor on the Ile Saint Louis, not far from Notre Dame. They all knew each other. They had tried to kill each other often enough, but now in the pretty wood paneled room with its antique mirrors and lace curtains, and over 12 dishes of Berthelot's famous wild strawberry ice cream, they discussed how they might work together and make themselves rich. At this meeting, Scorpia was born. Well, it's already come up on 10 minutes, and that's like all the time I get for YouTube. But yeah, if anybody is interested in spy novels, I guess I should check this book out, Scorpia, by Anthony Horowitz, author of the New York Times bestseller Eagle Strike. I'm gonna go ahead and read this tonight. Not all of it, but I guess I'll try to read as much as I can tonight before going to bed. And I guess I'll upload this whenever I get internet back. Alright YouTube, it was nice making another video. This is Hugo Flores signing out, I guess. We're logging out.